you don't see knockouts necessarily. You see the skill and the points you're supposed to score. So he's been brought up in that kind of environment to just have the skill to just work you the fuck out. Yeah.
So like just a little bit on like Olympic boxing.
Yeah.
But like what has happened to our USA Olympic boxing? I just want to get your thoughts on it because the little bit that I do watch of boxing and I do like to see the Olympic. Like,
yeah,
I wish I would see us in the Olympics getting more. And like, who was it? The kid Cam F. Awesome. The last time that like anybody even got like close for the men's. You know what I mean? Like, what happened to that program?
There is still a program, but Shakur Stevenson is a name that comes up. He fought back in 2016, and I don't believe he got the gold. I mean, he medaled, but he did pretty well for himself. I mean, honestly, I don't think many people were expecting like the men's side to do very well. Mm-hmm. Clarissa Shields on the women's side,
I've seen that well. Part. The women's side seems to like actually do well, but it's like right. What happened to like the men's side? Like we used to be killers.
It's kind of like it's not exactly the same, but it's similar. It's lightly similar to, for example, basketball. There was a point where people like male basketball players were so good in high school, they just said like fuck college, and they went to the NBA. And you remember those names, those dudes that went to like that went straight to the NBA and became superstars. Yeah. And at the same time, you might not remember the guys in college who were very good players, who were doing pretty well, and they didn't get as much hype or they didn't become as successful. And the same kind of jump is kind of made. You kind of see that same kind of jump or maybe just absence in men's boxing. You have, or in the American men's boxing for the Olympics, you see a name, and again, it's the one and only name I can think of, and that's Shakur Stevenson. That's the only name I can think of. I know he obviously fought with other male fighters, but it took me a minute to remember what his name was because the other ones weren't really doing so well. And like I said, he medaled. I don't believe he got gold, but he medaled, and that was a big deal. Other fighters are just kind of, they're going up in their local gyms or whatever. They're doing their amateur fights or whatever. They're not really thinking about the Olympics because that's not where the money is necessarily, obviously. But they do whatever they do locally, do their amateur fights, come up the ranks, and then if they're lucky enough, they get on an undercard, and then they get signed with someone a little bit bigger, and they work their way up. And that's where they get their success at. It's kind of a shame because Shakur Stevenson, he's not the same fighter as Lomachenko, of course, but he's been brought up in in something with skill, where he could have developed a skill and fought world-class international fighters, and who he could do something with it. He is being somewhat successful now that he's professional. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's just still kind of the same. There's younger fighters. The younger fighters out there are seeing an avenue just locally, getting their amateur fights under their belt, and then just going straight pro. Yeah,
how you're explaining it to me, it sounds like the MMA world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I still look at it as like I'm like, why am I not seeing? Because I watch the Olympics because judo's in the Olympics, right. And we have judo, we have wrestling, and they still go down those avenues. Yeah. Before they go into the MMA, like even Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you look into that. You know what I mean? They go into that amateur competition level before you see them go into like pro fighting or even pro jiu-jitsu, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like now that they have and soon they're going to be having pro judo, you know what I mean? Right. Like and like beat the streets for wrestling, you know what I mean? Like that they're getting paid to do these events, you know what I mean? A wrestling match in the middle of Times Square, that's pretty crazy, you know? Yeah. But like it just surprises me that like who's our like a last like Olympic champion, like I can't even think of it, you know what I mean? Like an Oscar De La Hoya or like
I mean, Roy Jones Jr. did some damage too. Obviously, Roy Jones Jr. did it as an Olympic boxer.
But, it just makes me sad that like we can't, like, you know what I mean? Like I can't go like, oh wow, I can pull like 2-3 names, because you look at almost any other sport, we can do that. You know,
some of it also has to do, I mean, with just, I guess it's a sign of the times. I mean, when you start looking at what's being broadcast as far as the Olympics, they're not putting boxing out there at a time where it's like, all right, everybody sit down and watch this. I mean, if you're lucky,
2 a.m.
it's like somewhere, obviously based on where it is in the world, there's a time difference, and then they're putting it on at a time where maybe a lot of people aren't watching it. And it like, for example, Clarissa Shields is a I think got lucky. I'm not discrediting what she did. I mean, she did very, very well. And it was a big deal in this day and age because, it's a female fighter. Like, we've never seen this before. And it's true. We haven't seen this before. And it's kind of a shame that we haven't seen that before. But she went out there, did damage, and made a name for herself. But it's not what people want to see, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a little soft-heartedness to it, because I like seeing that. And I feel like
you have an appreciation for it. Yeah, it's not really for like the casual fan,
right? Yeah, you know what I mean. I feel like I don't know. I have like, you have to have that inner warrior's like competitive like grit spirit, and I feel like that's what like your Olympic Games are all about. And like you look at wrestling and like those are staples of, you know what I mean, the Olympics and world stage, and it like I just wish I saw more of it. You know what I mean? Like I really wish I saw more. I personally would enjoy to see it. You know what I mean?
I think I'm sorry not to cut you off, but I think you have like a different perspective from it, because like you said, you compete. You're an actual fighter.
Yeah.
So you can appreciate the hard work, the dedication that it takes to get to the level that these Olympic athletes are reaching.
Sure.
And to be able to see them put that against the other best of the world from other countries.
Yeah, exactly.
You can appreciate that. And, you know, not everybody can make that connection that you can make on it on a personal level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just love, and also too, they're doing this for passion of the sport,
right?
And I'd like nothing against pro athletes, because they have to have passion to do what they do. But like, I love seeing the Olympics where it's your pure passion. You know what I mean? Like these dudes are $25,000-$30,000 per year.
Right. They're making a lot of money. They make money in like the endorsements and whatnot. But it's not like.
But you got to gold it.
They're multi-millionaires.
Yeah. I mean, and they're doing it for like straight love. You know what I mean? And I like seeing that, and I like. I wish I saw more of it, because I feel like I feel like we would be even better I feel like boxing would be even better. On a professional stage if you had that, because I love seeing those 3-round fights where they're just, all right, it's hammer time, let's get it in. You know what I mean? Like you don't got 12 rounds, you got 3 rounds, let's get it. You know what I mean?
Hassan, I got a question.
Yes.
All right, and then we're gonna wrap it up here.
All right.
And actually, this is for everybody. I was recently listening to Joe Rogan podcast again. Mike Tyson was on it, and shout out to Tyson, man. That dude has overcome some shit.
Yeah.
And like hearing his story, and it just seemed like he's just at peace with everything, and like he's like one of my favorite people to listen to right now.
Yeah.
So with that podcast, I decided to go ahead and watch some Tyson highlights. Question for y'all: is Mike Tyson the greatest fighter, pound for pound, ever in his prime? Are you picking anybody against Tyson that could beat Tyson in his prime? Because I was watching those highlights, and the show that Tyson put on, and the skill, the speed, the power, I don't think I've ever seen anything like this.
Do they have to be in the same weight class? And I think the obvious answer is yes. If heavyweights,
if you want to take a lightweight and put him against Tyson, go ahead.
Tyson was nasty, man. It's just the fights he lost, he got kind of worked like that. That Holyfield fight, man, he worked him. He worked him. You saw that.
Real quick though, so I'm taking prime. Tyson in that Holyfield fight wasn't in his prime. Prime Mike Tyson, when he got that belt, when he beat,
you're talking about like 84.
I'm talking 21-year-old Mike Tyson.
He beat Larry Holmes
That's prime Tyson.
Yeah, he did.
When he the dude he beat the dude he beat the title for, I can't think of his name. Burdock.
Oh yeah, Burdick. Yeah.
He was undefeated for how long?
Until he lost to Buster Douglas.
Yeah.
Mm.
That was like what, like an 8-year stretch or 7-year stretch or something. It was a while.
So are we calling him like
at least 6 years?
My question is: Are we going to the GOAT route?
I don't want to say GOAT.
Okay,
I don't want to say greatest because greatest of all time to me is either Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather, or Sugar Ray Robinson.
Okay, all right. I want to clarify that
those
just because those are two different conversations.
Yeah, it's two different conversations.
You know
I'm talking best ever. Like boat. Let's talk the boat talk. The boat talk. In their prime, you taking Mike Tyson?
Shit, I'll take him against anybody. Fuck, I'm gonna be the first one to speak up. Ain't nobody want to get hit up with that left body hook to the head hook.
It's taking me a while because I got to go through all of them. Like I got to go through the fighters in my head, but I'm at the end. I'm coming out with Tyson. Yeah.
I think me too, man. I've watched old Ali fights, obviously, and I know like a lot of old school heads, and they probably killing me right now. Like, oh, you don't know what the fuck you talking about.
It's kind of a shame because of the time that Ali didn't fight.
Yeah,
we'll never know.
He missed a lot of his prime.
What would have happened?
But we've seen his greatness when he was at the top of his game. We've seen it, and he was untouchable.
Yeah,
but you give me a prime Ali. You give me a prime Tyson. You put them in the same era. You know they train how they train and whatever. Equal playing fields.
I don't know.
I think Tyson gets.
Here's the thing. I got to go back, and this is a little unorthodox, and it might stir up controversy. Not to say that this technically could be heard worldwide, and not to say that this is going to go viral. But I go back to the Rumble in the Jungle where Ali was taking all those hits from Foreman. Now, Ali wasn't in his prime necessarily at that point, and I'm not saying that George Foreman in his prime was equal to Tyson. I just feel like if you took Ali in his prime and put him up against Tyson in his prime, it might be an extended fight, but I still think Tyson would beat Ali because Ali was taking hits at that point. I mean, and again, I'm not saying that he could take hits from Tyson either, but just that concept that Ali was like, I'm going to take hits from someone. It might go a while. I mean, I would say that fight would go at least 6 rounds.
But, I mean, the Rumble in the Jungle though, that's when like Ali's kind of old,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
So I gotta calculate.
I don't think he would take hits like that, like he did against George Foreman, because that was like the game plan.
Sure, okay.
Rope him, take those hits.
Sure,
I'm talking feet shuffling.
I'm thinking of the concept that if Ali at that point in his career could take hits like that,
I get what you're saying. Okay.
Then let's de-age him a little bit and keep the skills he had before he was out of boxing, and then let's maybe put that up against Tyson. It wouldn't end in like the first or second round. I would say.
I agree with that one.
Yeah,
I think you look at it like Ali, like Anderson Silva. You know what I mean? He reminds me of him as the boxing version. He moved around with the rope dope.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You look at the way he moves his head and his body, similar like movements, right? But you get a Tyson kind of power to clip you one good time.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, he's got power in his hands that...
Both hands.
Yeah.
Both hands.
Yeah, that nobody has seen.
Ever.
Ever. You get clipped with one of those, you are going down. I mean, you could see Ali maybe moving around.
Sure.
And I could see it going quite a while.
Yeah.
But... one of those times he's gotta clip you. You know what I mean? And everybody has the opportunity to get clipped. I see Tyson catching him. You got 12 rounds, right?
I mean, back then it was 15.
Yeah, you got 15 rounds.
And Ali was not gonna. I mean, you gotta think of what kind of conditions you're gonna put him in. Like either a 12 or a 15 round fight.
Put him in it. Let's put it like moderate. Let's put him like a 12 round.
Well, I mean, hell, I've seen heavyweight fights on TV and in person that were like 6 rounds,
right?
8 rounds, okay. And I feel like Tyson, if you. Because then you got to think about the personal thing. Tyson loved Ali, and I feel like Tyson wouldn't want to go out and kill him. Anybody else, Tyson's gonna kill.
I don't think I disagree.
But if you put it in his head that it's like, all right, we got Tyson, we got Ali, you know, in a ring. You got 6 rounds. Tyson's like, all right, he's out. Like, give me like 2 rounds.
Like the thing with Tyson. All right, so you know how you watching a fight, and you see somebody get hit hard, and it just make you go like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? Like you just know, like that hits like